Hey guys, welcome to Sketch a Day. I'm Spencer, and if this is your first time, I want you to hit that subscribe button, turn on alerts, and be ready for awesomeness because we post every day, and I love drawing. You'll also want to come say hi on Instagram. I'm at sketchaday.com, and be sure to check out sketchaday.com, specifically /newsletter, because there you'll be able to sign up for my free newsletter, which includes this super sketch tip guide, which is a collection of knowledge and experience and a free tutorial that I put together just for you. So check that out. So today I'm going to be sketching a simple spray bottle, something like this. So it doesn't really matter what you use. I'm going to be talking more about the technique, method, and thinking through a more complex form like this with lots of transitions and lots of things happening. So if you ever wanted to sketch like a designer, you'll want to pay attention. So grab whatever you have, and with that, let's get started. Now, if I look at this bottle, the first thing I try to do is imagine that my eye is a laser beam and I'm able to cut through the bottle. Or think of it like a loaf of bread where I can slice all the way down the bottle and have what's called a cross section. And a cross section is going to define the shape at a certain point. So here on my bottle where it pokes out, I might want to cut here, cut the bottom, and this other point where I'm changing direction so I can map out the shape. Now for this particular bottle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 points where the direction of the form is changing. So we're going to start by sketching a plane on the bottom here. And I'm just using a Papermate flare pen. And we'll keep this perspective reasonably chill. But I'm going to start with a plane. And let's find the center of that plane roughly here. And now I can project up my page and I have a central axis for this bottle. Now, like I said, I have these points, right, where I'm having changes in shape. So I want to map those out. So what I'm going to do is, following my axis, I'm going to draw some lines up my page from these corners. And now here's where I get to kind of take some liberties and estimate proportionally how and where I want these inflection points to be. Okay, so the first one I'm going to place about here, second one about here, moving up the page. And so drawing our first plane like so, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the other planes in my drawing. So now that I have these 3 planes in place, I need to look at the bottom plane and check out the offset. So I'm offset on this bottom plane a little bit. So I'm changing the shape of this plane by eliminating this line right here. And I also need to map out where the neck of the bottle might be. So I'm just going to sketch another plane right up here, nice and rough, and also start to map out the height of the bottle. Okay, so something like that. And let's project forward. So this is called drawing through, and you could also think of it as just creating the blocks, the building blocks for the form or the overall shape of the thing that we're going to be drawing. And this way we can kind of work out the kinks as we go. But hopefully you can kind of see the raw geometry here. I'm able to even look at my bottle now, look at this, and see that, okay, that's a bit long. So I can come back and cut this back as well. In other words, moving that line back. Okay, so we get a nice consistent transition. Okay, so the actual form of the bottle, I'm going to use some different colored markers here just to kind of show the process. So on the bottom, I'm going to start by sketching in somewhat curved profiles. Okay, because the bottle rather is slightly curved in its profile. So using that orange marker, and I'll go ahead and use green as well, like so. And hopefully you guys can see these planes, even shade it in so you can kind of see. So Plane 2 is the green one. And let's see, I'm just gonna use a blue marker here to show you guys this third plane, which again is gonna be a little curved like so, but let's mix things up for our bottle and slightly change the length of this top plane. So there's a plane right there, and I'll switch back to orange for this other plane, but this is where the nozzle is now mounted. So I have a circle and maybe another circle slightly offset right there. And then on the top, we've got this kind of shape. That's another plane. So hopefully you guys can see these are just 5 right here. A, B, C, D, E. And we can go on and on. So even for the front here, just mapping out these shapes. I know this curves down, for example, like so. Shade that in. And then here we have a nice round on the nozzle, like so. And we can just bring that back toward that circle. Okay, so we're just roughing it out, trying to map out where those major elements are. And now, if I were sketching the full bottle, I could now come in just with this gray marker to show you guys, connect everything like so, something like this, just a nice S curve right through there. Those are just contour lines to kind of show and reinforce the form. And again, because we're roughing this out, we can make changes. So if I want the front of the nozzle to kind of taper in, we can do that. We can sketch in the trigger. If you needed to set up a plane, we could also do that at this point right here. But typically this is enough just to have a general sense of the form and what we're trying to do. So now at this point, you can remove this sheet of paper right here. I'm just gonna pull this off, throw this behind, and now I have the ability to create an overlay of this sketch. So using the same pen, just a paper made flare, I'm just gonna be careful, but also just redraw the whole thing. Okay, so because I've now figured out my perspective and all that hard stuff, I can now just freely redraw over this sketch, and now I'll have something that's accurate in terms of perspective and my intended proportion without having to rethink all of those technical details, if you will. Okay, so pretty handy way to get a nice clean sketch. If you're starting from scratch and you have something complex, you can pretty easily just map it out. You know, when in doubt, rough it out, light till you get it right, form, divide, beautify, all that good stuff. Just map it out and then come back and create your final sketch. Okay. And if we want to throw some text on, you know, we can map that out as well. Okay, so we'll just map out some simple text here. Maybe instead of 409, it's 509. Since Lysol's not sponsoring us here at Sketch-A-Day, no need to give them that free advertising. Okay, so for the text, I just mapped out the overall height proportion of the numbers so that I can come in Just draw that in, and maybe there's some script thing, some other text and all that on my bottle. Okay, this one had this little spout thing that was connected, so let's just include that for our knockoff brand here. And sketch in some sort of nozzle, maybe a little bit of a detail, some text, all that good stuff. So that's how you can quickly map out an object with some transitions that maybe not your may not be representative of your typical geometry or things that you work on. And so just being able to think through the form methodically and sketch it in this way can be very useful. In fact, if you want to, you could even add just a little bit of marker just to help things pop. Abbreviated marker, just a couple lines where we have shadows and so forth. Maybe just a couple reflective ones right there. And maybe our nozzle is also orange, for example. But I like abbreviated marker because it's quick, and if you apply it in the right way, you can use it to show some form and add some interest to your sketch overall. So pretty useful, pretty handy if that's something that can help your sketch. I encourage you to try it out and see how that works for you. I'm just shading in the shadow here a little bit. Don't want to get too carried away, but felt right. So just a couple lines. I'm not calculating the entire shadow here. Whenever I have something complex, sometimes I like to just kind of leave it as is and have an indication of a shadow without the perfect definition of the thing. So that's what I'm trying to do. Let's shade in these numbers here a little bit for contrast purposes. Could have used another marker, but good opportunity to practice my motor stroke and hatching right here. Just like that, almost done with our quick spray bottle. All right, maybe just a little reflection action happening on it right there, just like that. All right, well, hopefully this was informative for you. If you've learned something, definitely give the video a share, mention it on the socials, all that good stuff. But at the very least, be sure to subscribe, hit that subscribe button and turn on alerts, because if you don't, you won't know when I post, although I do post every day. And you can always find me on Instagram at sketchaday.com. I tend to post other sketches or drawings you may not see here, there as well, and the occasional short video. And be sure to visit sketchaday.com/newsletter, where you'll be able to sign up for my newsletter and check that out. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Sketchaday.